Drug overdoses, specifically with opioids, is an epidemic nationwide that's hitting us right here at home. While data shows that the number of overdose deaths have dropped in Winnebago County in the last 2 years, leaders with the Winnebago County Health Department tell WIFR reporter Alyssa Kelly about the importance of its red box.
We care about our residents to be safe.
50 locations in Winnebago County contain a red box. That can mean the difference between life and death. The Winnebago County Housing Authority is one of those locations.
It's used for preventing drug overdoses.
Red boxes scattered throughout the area contain 3 boxes of naloxone, a medication that rapidly reverses an opioid overdose.
We are always being able to refill those boxes. We will check in with a place and make sure that they're always filled, or the company itself or organization will reach out to us if they do ever run out.
In 1 year, more than 125 people died in Winnebago County from overdoses, according to the Illinois Department of Public Health's most recent data.
We always want to make sure that we keep everybody safe, and the best way to do that is just make sure that everybody does have naloxone on them.
A study done by the CDC found that in more than 40% of opioid overdose deaths, a bystander was nearby, and 19,000 lives could have been saved had they administered naloxone.
You never know when you might need it, and it's always best to have it.
The county says individuals have more access to naloxone than ever before.
And we're always working on making sure that whatever place has it always has a full box.
And they will continue to place more red boxes in Winnebago County. The more there are, the more lives are saved.
It's just always wonderful to be able to help out the community as best as we can.
In Winnebago County, Alyssa Kelly, WIFR News.
Other locations in the area with red boxes include Rockford University, Carpenter's Place,